MOM Radio and Pipe Bomb Radio present Not Your Mama's Radio Show with your hosts, former WWE Superstars Oscar, Sir Mo, and Dreamy Mimi.
Welcome, everybody, to another edition of Not Your Mama's Radio Show. Here is your host for tonight, Oscar, and Dreamy Mimi, I believe, is joining us as well.
Hey!
Hey, guys. How you doing?
Good. How are you?
Doing great. Really enjoyed your photos. I can imagine how much fun you guys had and how exhausted you guys probably are.
Yeah.
Well, I'm glad. I'm glad you guys got to travel a little bit. I got to ask though, just a quick question. How was the is it a banquet? I think it was for the Sports Legacy Institute. Did you guys get to check that out? Are you guys going to talk about that later?
Oscar, you on the phone?
I don't think he is. I thought he was for a second there.
Yeah. How soon before Trevor Murdoch comes on?
How soon before what?
Trevor Murdoch, what time does he do?
He should be calling in just a bit here. He didn't say exactly what time, but I did give him the time to call in.
Okay.
I will definitely be screening the callers tonight to make sure who's either listening or who's going to be coming on the conversation.
All right. Okay, well, in that regard, we're going to introduce Dreamy Mimi's new segment entitled You Gotta Know What's Going On Out Here. So Dreamy, fill our people in on whatever thing that they need to know.
You know, and let's welcome, of course, Mo. He actually is back with us as well. It's been 10 days since you guys have been on the air.
Wow. Sorry, guys, for coming on late. I was in the bathroom.
Thank you for sharing that.
Right.
It's been a stressful day.
Well, you know what? It's time to have some fun. I'm sorry, Mimi. We did cut off what Oscar was saying about what you were going to do. Please go ahead, guys.
Yeah. This week was great. We went to the fundraiser. They were talking about concussion awareness and mainly focused on soccer at this particular event. It was a really, really well planned out event. It was really nice. From start to finish, I enjoyed myself. It wasn't like long and drawn out and like too much information to overwhelm you or anything like that. Felix, it was really, really awesome. I thought it was a great event.
You know, if I'm not mistaken, and correct me if I'm wrong, if you guys heard differently, but isn't Triple H a board member of the Sports Legacy Institute now?
Yes.
That's what I thought.
Yes, he's a board member, and he gave the opening speech. He was half in character, half out, but he was definitely there along with James Gettys, who's a big shot over talent relations at WWE. We got to speak briefly, and she's a former soccer player. It was focused on face soccer. It had Brandi Chastain and Cindy Cone, I think it is, from that Olympic gold medal winning soccer team years ago. They were honoring them, and Triple H opened it up, and just a real nice event to be at.
Oh, cool! I'm glad you guys got to be part of it.
Okay.
So what are we going to do tonight, guys?
We're going to have our guest, Trevor Murdoch, on. We're going to do the WWE report. And okay. Okay, I should be better now. Our featured guest tonight is Trevor Murdoch. We're going to WWE report. We've done some WWE analysis. And throughout the night, we'll touch on exactly what is going on with Not Your Mama's radio show. We have some pretty neat endeavors. We're going to skim the surface without giving away too many details. Because details are sketchy. We're still in the building process. Dreami Mimi's going to do that because I tend to give away a little too much. And, yeah, it's going to be an interesting 2 hours tonight.
Do we lose everybody?
Yeah. All right. So,
we're still there. We're silent for a second. I thought we lost everybody.
No, Mo, what's going on with you?
Nothing, man. I'm just recuperating. I probably been in the house about 20 minutes from the dialysis center, so I ain't quite got all my scruples back yet. So may not be my normal handsome jovial self, but I'm interested in hearing all the news and discussing what's going on in this world we call Not Your Mama's Radio.
Yeah, well, I mean, I'm not even going to mince words, guys. It's a lot. It was a really interesting week in Boston. I mean, the weather out that way is just going.
Stop.
The weather going up and down. I mean, we had a really good week, a really extravagant week, to be honest. But at the very end, we got sick.
Wow.
Yeah, the time that I could have been walking around enjoying New York and even Boston, I was laying in the bed going through boxes of Kleenex.
Yeah, I mean, that is just too funny. All right, so we'll get into our lives in a minute. Felix, the last 10 days, what's been happening with you?
Not too much, man. Just been watching things on as far as how the stories have been going on of course, WWE, TNA, and trying to keep things in order for our show Tuesday nights. It's been quiet but interesting, as we go into the month of November. It's a cold time over here, not as cold as it could be in different areas, I suppose, but it's been pretty nice. I've been watching your guys' your picture posts and been very intrigued as to what's been going on, what you guys been seeing, what you guys see, what you guys are going to share, tell us some ups and downs. I've been looking forward to hearing about your trip.
Good.
Hey, well, the first what I can say right now is I want to thank first guys at MWF Supersite in Boston, Dan and John Cena Sr., and all those people. We did a pretty good shoot interview when I arrived in Boston last week. That interview is going to air online Thanksgiving Eve. That's when they're going to post it online. I talked about a lot of things as far as the radio show, the career, the stuff that we are working on. So that was a pretty good interview. And I also want to thank Evan Ginsberg of Legends TV. We had a fantastic time with the Under the Mat Radio, our brother podcast on the other side, rapper named At Last, poet and radio producer named Cooley High, John Pennell, the poet, and then, of course, the host, the great Evan Ginsberg. The show airs in New York on, I don't know what channel it airs in New York, but it's online now. You guys can catch it. It's www.legendstv.com or www.madhousetv.com. And that was a great interview and a great time. How did you enjoy yourself, your debut on television, Dreami?
I had a ball, but I was nervous. It was kind of nerve-wracking. I was freaking out, but I got over it.
Hey, guys, I just want to let you know we do have our guest of honor who is called in. He is on hold, and whenever you're ready, I will bring him on.
All right, well, we're not going to waste time and mince words. We're going to respect people's time. former WWE Tag Team Champ, and the guy looks like the great Dick Murdoch. That's why we call him Trevor Murdoch. Mr. Murdoch, how are you?
Oh, I'm a big ball of joy, guys. Thanks for having me on.
Oh, no, man. It's an honor and a pleasure. Thank you for coming. How are you doing this holiday season? First question, you got any big plans for Thanksgiving and Christmas? How does Trevor Murdoch celebrate the holidays?
Oh, I'm a homebody, man. Everybody comes to me. I've got the biggest house in the family, so everybody comes to my place. So it's a good day because I get to sit back and watch football and get fed a whole bunch of good food. So
that is the best way to spend those holidays. Just when family, you don't got to put your clothes on and a big coat and get in the car and travel on Amtrak, the plane, or something like that and worry about fighting or getting home. But you're at home. You're in your comfortable clothes or your pajamas or your robe. The family comes over. All the food is cooked. They come and eat and hang out and watch football. Then after that, they go home and you get to get on your couch and go to bed.
Yes, sir. I got 7 sisters and 2 brothers. So the ladies of the house, they do all the cooking, and that's not including aunts and uncles that come over. So usually the guys are stuck in the living room, and we're just fine with that.
Yeah, no, God bless you. That is the best way to do it. And around this time of year, that's when you really appreciate family. I mean, you might not see them all year long. All year long go by, and you might talk to them on the phone, you might not. But there's just something about the holidays that just brings that spirit of family camaraderie together. And that's one of the many reasons why I just love this time of year. I'm excited about it. And I'm glad to see that, you're going to have that kind of time with it. If I'm not doing nothing, I'm going to be the one black guy that's over there. I know I'm not a member of your family, but I love a good meal.
You're more than welcome, brother. You're more than welcome, man. I don't see color. I just see friends and family.
Trevor, who the hell's that? That's my brother Oscar.
Just to give you heads up, Trevor, instead of a turkey, you better have some fried chicken available.
Oh, well, I believe we can work something out. I got a father-in-law cooking me fried chicken, so.
Yeah.
Be careful, he might show up for real.
For real. He jokes about it right now, but he's serious. He's quick to jump on a train.
Well, you want to come all the way to Missouri, come on down.
I'm not that. What part of Missouri?
Lake of the Ozarks.
I'm not that far from Missouri. I'm only outside Chicago to see you playing.
Oh, you're only 6 or 7 hours away. Yeah, you don't know
sure. You tell me what you wish for.
I better be careful.
And guess who came to dinner?
More than married, man. It's all about family.
My first real question is, the Harley Race Training Academy. Walk us through what it is training in the facility of the great Harley Race.
It was me and another buddy of mine were the first 2 students at Harley's training facility. So there's a lot of pressure, number one, just being the first group, but not to mention we're young guys, standing in the same ring as, 8-time NWA heavyweight champion Harley Race. It's hard to not mark out at times. But Harley was tough. He had a point to prove, and I think he did a really good job at it. We trained for 6, sometimes 7 days a week, 4 and 5 hours a day. One of the things Harley liked about me is he made me puke the first 3 months every single day. That was his goal. He stopped pushing us after he seen me puke. But I'd get done, I'd get sick, and I'd run back in the ring, and I'd catch up with my calisthenics. He put us through the rigors, and at the time we thought he was just being tough and being mean. But now, 8-10 years later, I look back and go, well, he was just preparing me for what was going to be ahead of me.
And that's something. It's like when you look back over your career, you look back through the early days and you remember that you don't understand why something's going on, or you think a guy's just being an asshole, or he just being hard and being tough just to be. But then when you look back over it all, you wouldn't change a thing, and you can understand that and then impart that to younger guys. before I get into your career, is that something you do now? Do you train anybody else, and do you mentor any younger wrestlers to tell them how it has to be?
I work with anybody and everybody, especially when I go to the shows. I love pro wrestling. I don't love entertainment. I don't love WWE entertainment. I love pro wrestling, a guy that's able to go in with another guy from bell to bell and tell a story, not just go out there and dance and look good and do what he needs to do, but be able to tell a story. That's how Harley brought me up. This is, our job is to tell stories and to get people enthralled and to take them on a roller coaster ride. So if I can pass that knowledge on to some of these young guys that haven't been properly trained or haven't had the opportunities I have, I'll do it any and every time. I think that's the only way this business is actually gonna survive, is if we pass that knowledge down to the younger guys, and hopefully they'll carry it on to somebody else and make good on it.
Okay, now walk us through your career. You started out, and then what was the journey? You started out like most of us did. You started out in an independent, and then you walked up. You worked your way through the ranks, got to WWE, got partnered with Lance Cade, became the former tag team champions. I mean, just take all the time you need and walk us through the timeline.
Well, at first I was wrestling 3 years before I met Harley. I was in a small company in St. Louis, Missouri, and I wrestled for 3 years, and I got introduced to Harley, and he told me he was having a training, he was opening up a training facility, and he invited me and another guy down, and we came down, and I quickly realized I didn't know shit about wrestling. I didn't know anything. I thought I did, but I had no clue. And Harley quickly reminded me that if you want this bad enough, you're going to have to work harder than everybody else. So for the next 2 or 3 years, Harley put me through he pounded it in me. He wasn't afraid to get in the ring at the time, and he finally got me an opportunity to go to Japan. And I went over there, and I wrestled for Noah. I actually went through the dojo for 6 months. And I trained in their dojo over there. And when I got back, I had pretty much decided that my career was going to be in Japan. Anybody who's ever seen a picture of me knows I'm not a bodybuilder. So I really didn't see me having a career in WWE. And I came back, and Harley got me a tryout with WWE, and I was just going up there to collect my $250 and eat some good catering and look at all, meet all the guys. And I happened to see Chris Benoit doing his squats outside of the ring. And so, of course, I slid in the ring and I started doing all my Japanese stretches, just trying to get his attention because I wanted to talk to him. I wanted his knowledge, especially if I was going to spend my career in Japan. I wanted to know everything I could. And sure enough, I started doing my stretches, and he came over and he asked me who trained me, which I told him was Harley, and he asked me if I'd been in Japan, and of course that was my time to just lay out my resume a little bit. And I told him, yes, sir, I just got back from the dojo. I've been over there 6 months. Yes, sir, yes, sir. And he asked me if I had a match that night, and I said no, and he said, wait here, don't go anywhere. And 10 minutes later, he said, you got a dark match tonight, kid. Better show him what you got. And it went from not caring and just having fun to complete nerve-wracking fear because I finally realized that somebody was actually going to be paying attention to me. That night, I wrestled Rob Conway of La Resistance, and they asked me to come back that Tuesday to wrestle Rene Dupree, and I had a great match with Rene Dupree, and I went back to the locker room, and Johnny Ace went back there and asked me to come to his office, and he asked me if I wanted a job, and all I could do was shake my head yes. I couldn't even get the words out. I'd been struggling for 8 years for somebody to notice me, and all of a sudden, all in one night, they're noticing me, offering me a job out of nowhere, and I said yes. And 4 weeks later, I had a contract signed. 2 weeks after that, I was WWE Tag Team Champion, tagging with Lance Cade, and that ride took off.
Wow. Now, I feel a lot of
that quick.
I spent a lot of time thinking that you really was like Dick Murdoch's son, or at least related to him. How did that whole thing with you being tied to Murdoch, and how did that make you feel? Because Dick Murdoch is, bar none, one of our legendary professionals. So how did that come about, and how did that make you feel when you knew you were going to be, basically, the wrestling world was going to think you was the son of Dick Murdoch, or the nephew?
I was, I've watched a ton of Dickie stuff. That's in my opinion, that's when wrestling was the greatest for me as a fan. So I've watched a ton of Dickie stuff, Dusty stuff, of course, Harley and Flair's. And before I went to WWE, I was wrestling as Trevor Rhodes, the bastard son of P. Rhodes, doing the elbow. And what's funny, what comes out with the Murdoch name is when I went to WWE and they offered me a job, Dusty had heat with Vince. So Ricky Steamboat comes up to me and says, hey, listen, I think Dusty's got a little bit of heat right now. You might do better if you look more like Dickie Murdoch. He goes, do you care if we just make you Trevor Murdoch? I was like, well, hell no, I don't care. Call me Sunshine, put me in pink. Just give me a job. I don't care. But to be, in a position where I can represent a man that's done so much for the business, it was a great honor for me, and it just fit. It was a natural fit for me, for the character, for my wrestling style. It just all blended really well together and made complete sense. And sure enough, I debuted as Trevor Murdoch.
Okay. Go ahead, Mo.
I guess I was going to ask, what was that like? What was that experience like? Rising to the top that quickly, how much stress and pressure was that?
Oh, it was unbelievable. To not only, you think your whole time the hardest part of your career is just getting a job with WWE, but once you're there, the hardest part is staying there. And it was mind blowing, to be absolutely honest with you, because you get a job, 2 weeks later, you're WWE Tag Team Champion, and you're in front of millions. So the only thing you can do is you focus on your next match. This is going to be the best match of my career. You get done with another one, this is going to be the best match of my career. That was the only thing I knew to do to keep my job and to keep myself successful, because I never went through developmental. A lot of the guys that go up to WWE now go through developmental for a year, 2 years, and they get an opportunity to learn just how WWE works and the system, and not so much whose ass to kiss, but who to properly talk to, if you know what I mean.
Right.
And I didn't have any of that. Thank God I had Lance there to kind of guide me along a little bit, because he knew what situation I was in, and he was able to kind of help. Hey, listen, don't talk to him. Don't talk to him. Don't act this way. Lance really, really was able to give me that on-the-job training I needed to not only wrestle, but to work within the WWE format. And Mo, as you know, that's not always the easiest.
No, not at all.
No.
Well, the beautiful thing about what you've said so far is that you had somebody take you by the hand, and show you the ropes. I mean, can you imagine going in as a couple guys that have absolutely no ties in the business, minorities, and you don't have anybody that's willing to just take you by the hand and show you the ropes? How long do you think a couple guys like that could survive in that environment?
Oh, well, nowadays I don't think they could survive long at all. I think the pressure and too many chiefs, not enough Indians, not know who to listen to would, and it happens all the time now with guys. They just can't handle the pressure, and they don't know who to listen to, and they've got 10 people telling them 10 different things, and they don't know which one to follow. And that's where you've got to make a decision on what you're going to be and who you're going to be and what you're going to do in that ring. And that's the important thing. I got lucky enough as well, too. We're talking about people, and I'm going to bring him up. Big Biff. When I was with Harley's group, Harley would bring in names, and Big Biff was one of those guys that Harley brought in. And talk about a guy who just loved the business and was so completely what his character wasn't. You know, you see a man that size and that big and that mean on the TV,
right.
you think he's the exact same way in real life, but he's not. And
right.
when I got to WWE, he was one of those guys I seen that I'd recognize and went up and, hello, sir, do you remember me? Well, yeah, Trevor, of course I remember you. Come over here, give me a hug. You know, and that was my okay. You know, I can go to him and ask him questions and to a point
right.
where Vince opened up his vehicle to me and let me ride with him for about, because
right.
you know, it was guys like that helped get me through when I didn't know what to do. I was very lucky.
That's awesome. That's incredibly awesome. Because we were just, it was like we were thrown into the ocean in a small boat with no paddle, motor that had enough gas just to get away from the dock. Now I survived.
Yes, sir.
So that was incredible. So what was your feeling when it was over? What I mean, what was that like when it was over? When you knew it was over, when you knew the ride was over, that part of the ride. How did that feel?
It was upsetting. There was a ton of emotions because you think, oh my gosh, you know, you're not working for the number one company in the world. Where are you going to go? What are you going to do? But then there was a huge sense of relief. A relief that I needed and that I didn't know I needed until it was done. A huge amount of stress. Just okay. I don't have to answer to any of these jerks anymore. I can go where I want to now. I can do what I want without having to ask for permission. I felt as if I was moving out of the house again. if that's any consolation, you know.
Yeah.
I felt like that freedom of, all right, now I can breathe again. I don't have to care what they think because obviously they don't want me anymore. So, pardon my French, they can go fuck themselves because you know what I mean. It was fear and relief.
I got you. So did you? I mean, you know, us on the outside, people on the outside, fans on the outside, we don't know about anything going on until it hits the dirt sheets. You know, till you know, the future endeavors is what they call it out here or whatever. So nobody knew what was going on until you hit that future endeavor list. Prior to, you know, being told that it was over, did you have any warning, you know, advance warning?
None. Zero. I was from what I was told by Michael Hayes, I was being put over on SmackDown. Was going to have a good strong push as a singles wrestler doing my singing gimmick, and I was going to be pushed towards the IC title. I got off the road one week doing house shows, and I ended up getting a call on July 3rd from Johnny Ace out of nowhere. And what's funny is I think every wrestler's been through it. They get that one phone call where they've seen that name on their phone 100 times, but this time was different. I don't know why. But when I seen Johnny Ace's name pop on my phone, my gut kind of dropped out from under me. I was like, something's not right. And sure enough, when I answered the phone, it was Johnny telling me that they were going to execute their 90-day clause. And that was it. And, of course, they gave me the same rubbish of budget cuts and blah, 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 money this, money that. But I didn't have a huge contract. My downside was $75,000 a year. So really, that money is pocket change for them. So it's one of them things where you don't know what the deal is. Maybe someone got mad at me, and I didn't know about it. I'm not very good at kissing ass. I'm pretty blunt about what I feel and how I think, and I know that rubs people wrong. But when something's not right, it's not right. And it blew my mind how many people in that organization will just, if it's not right, if a person says it's so, it's so. Perception is reality is their big term up there. And I call bullshit on that. Perception is not reality. You know, it's you make it any way you want to. So it could have been a number of things, but I don't know of any one thing, and I certainly didn't see it coming. nor did they give me any indication that it was coming.
Okay. So having left and having had the life you've had afterwards, any aspirations of going back?
No. None. Zero. Nothing. Okay. I have no desire to deal with that stress and those attitudes and to put myself back in a situation where I'm constantly worried about what's going to happen and have to answer to people that don't know shit about wrestling. That's
right.
What blows my mind. I love WWE for the fact that they've done great business-wise when it comes to TV. They're the only, basically the only wrestling company that people, even non-wrestling fans, know.
Right.
But once you got up there and seen the man behind the curtain, you realize that it's not the place you thought it was. It's not the dream you thought it was. And for me, I would rather go back to the independents, wrestle the way I was trained, have great matches with guys that no one knows, and elevate them, than to go back to that stress and become that person. My wife says it perfectly. You were somebody different when you were there. You were Trevor Murdoch. You weren't, William Mueller.
Right.
And she wasn't happy with that person, and neither was anybody else that was around me, because you're so stressed out and angry about what's going on the road. You're only home for a day or two. How can you not bring that home with you?
Of course.
Because it's constantly on your mind that you're going to have to deal with it in 2 more days. But the only thing that keeps you going is that 6 or 8 minutes on TV, or that 10 minutes on TV in front of those people.
And that 6, 8 minutes, 10 minutes is powerful, is it not?
Oh, it's an addiction. It's an addiction that you can't get enough of, and there's nothing else that can give you that fix unless being under those lights in front of those people and giving and hearing. If you're a heel and they're booing the shit out of you, you're eating it up and loving it. You're a baby face, they're cheering you. If there's nothing that can compare to it. But when it's just like any other bad drug, brother, it has its its withdrawals and it has its after effects. Yeah. And I have to look at who I am as a person and realize what I want in life, not just in wrestling, in life. And that's WWE does not fit into that.
That's incredible hearing that, because I have for the last 18 years have been asked that question numerous times and times again. Would you go back to WWE, WWF ever full time? And my answer was always an emphatically no. That company had me so stressed out. I put a 9mm to my head on several occasions. I spent 9 months on the road every night, going to every show, every house show for 9 months, and just having to watch the shows from the back, not being able to participate over some heat with Shawn Michaels. But, you get to an event and they be one worker short, and instead of, putting me in the ring, they would have called ahead of time and had Brooklyn Brawler flown in and had him work.
Mo, it shouldn't be that hard. It's the number one company in the world, and everybody dreams to be there. It shouldn't be that hard. You shouldn't. They would get so much more out of their wrestlers if they treated them like human beings and treated every situation like everybody else does. Okay, you don't like what's going on? Well, I'm sorry, but that's just how it is sometimes, and not be a dick and take advantage of people.
Right.
And it shouldn't be that way. And maybe that's what aggravates me the most, is that they're the number one company in the world, and things could be so much easier for everybody, but some people thrive on chaos, and those people just happen to be in power.
Right. And so when you get somebody to ask you, say, hey, man, what are your thoughts on me going to WWE? Because I know what my answer is. I always say, be careful what you wish for, because it's not as beautiful as you think it is.
But the guys that have, how can I put this? I feel the exact same way, Mo. But it's hard for me to tell them guys, you don't want to be there, because they're never gonna. If you don't let them experience it, they'll never understand.
Right.
Just like you and I have an understanding about something, Mo, that we've never met, but you and I both have been on that same ride to a certain extent.
Right.
Guys that have never been there will never understand it, and they'll always wonder if they don't. So I tell them to go get it. Go get it, and you got to make it what you want. Because if anybody, when I was younger, I would hear older guys grumble about being up there, and they're just sour. They're just mad. They're just, they didn't get what they want, so they just want to hate on everybody else. Well, I was wrong, completely wrong, because I had no idea.
Right. That is for me. This is the most powerful conversation I've had with anybody in 15 years about working in that company, because and also I just learned that you're right. If we don't encourage those young guys, go ahead, go up there, go get it. Be the best you can be. They are going to sit around, and they're going to see this old guy sitting in the dressing room, with our bitter conversations or whatever, and think just like you said, he just bitter because, he only had one run, or, for whatever reason, he got fired or whatever, and that's why he's talking down about the company, But, having heard that, I think, guys, if I can help you get there, let me help you get there so you can experience it for yourself, So,
but don't come back at me hot when you find out what's going on. That's
right. don't come back and say, "Hey, man, why'd you see me up there in that cesspool, man?" hey, buddy, you asked for it.
That's right. And there's going to be no satisfying answer to them other than them seeing it and being a part of it. And what a lot of guys don't understand is there's only one Randy Orton. There's only one Triple H. There's only one CM Punk. And those slots are very limited. So you if you want to go up there, you need to honestly judge yourself and do a little self-evaluation if you can be that guy or fill that spot.
Right. Yeah, you need to be realistic about your expectations. You may go up there and they don't really have jobbers or talent enhancement guys anymore, but they do have people that fill those roles, and that might be the position you play the whole time you're up there. You're not guaranteed to be up there and make a couple $1 million and live like you see John Cena living on Total Divas. So you're right. A realistic expectation need to be given to anybody who wants to walk that path.
Yep.
Wow. So what is life like for Trevor tomorrow? What does Trevor do tomorrow?
Tomorrow's my day off. I was working a shoot job when I got my job at WWE, and by God, the day after I got released, I was working a shoot job. Well, it's just in my nature. Tomorrow's my day off, but during the week, I operate heavy equipment. I'm digging holes all day long with a big old backhoe. And then on the weekends, I'm wrestling independents, working with young guys that are trying to get themselves known, trying to teach them stories. I cannot stress that enough. When I go out into a ring and I've got a young guy that wants to do 30,000 moves to me, but he can't throw a punch, it looks like it hurt me to save his life. And they don't quite understand that we've got to get something established first, and that's the story, and then we can add in, the flippity flop, do whatever. You know what I mean? It's
right.
It's about getting the people involved where they go, okay, I want to see that guy beat him up, and I want to see that guy get beat up, and go from there. If you can't throw a solid punch, how the hell are you going to make a moonsault look good, or hell, even a clothesline look good? If you can't throw a regular straight punch where the fans can sit back and go, "Ooh, shit, that looked like it hurt." Mm-hmm. It's up to us, the guys in the tights, to make these people believe. Too many wrestlers go out there with the attitude, well, they bought a ticket, so they're going to do they're going to listen and do what I tell them. Nah, that's to a certain extent. I agree. They are, but you have to go in there and you still got to do your job. They still want to believe. You got to make them believe, and a lot of guys can't do that nowadays. So when I get in the ring with the guy, I want to show him something different. Give him a different match that he's never seen before, because you can't tell him. You can't explain it to him, and they'll think you're an idiot until they actually see it, feel the reaction of the crowd, and they see fans that are standing on their feet, making noise that they're not used to seeing. That's what I enjoy.
And I concur. I'm the same way. It's so funny because you're sitting in the locker room with these kids, and you're getting your boots on, and you're getting taped up, and you're already in your mind, meditating in your mind, just what you want to do. And this kid comes over to you like 5 or 6 times. Hey, man, you want to go over the match? Nah, kid, I'll get to you in a minute. And he's sitting over there in the corner, twiddling his thumbs, biting his fingernails, all scared and nervous. And a few minutes later, he comes back and says, man, you ready to go over this match? No, kid, I'll get with you in the ring. And then that's when his heart drops. Because other than a finish, I won't have a conversation with a young guy about what we're going to do in the ring. I'll wait until the match is over with, and then I'll sit down with him and go over, just what happened, just what we just went through. And then I won't call anything complicated that's going to make him look bad or make me look bad. But my whole thing is you got to get that reaction from the fans.
Well, we're not psychics. Mo, we have no idea what those fans are thinking, feeling. So for us to try to put a full match together in the back and go out there and expect the fans to eat it up is crazy. Not to mention when the fans don't bite on it, those guys are freaking out in their heads going, I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do. You gotta go out there and you gotta do something and see how they're reacting, and then you build on that. And you can create that magic on the fly. That's what, in my opinion, that's a true worker, is a guy that's able to go in there and go, I don't know what we're going to do tonight. But this is a finish, and we're going to work to that. And then we're going to go out there and we're going to react to the people. We're going to, if they're booing, if my job is to be a heel, I'm going to go out there and do several things to see what they're biting on, and then I'm going to capitalize on that. But I can't go in the back and I can't plan a 15, 20-minute match, especially on the indies now, and expect the people to buy it. That's crazy. And a lot of the young guys don't understand that. And that's because they're getting trained to put their whole match together in the back and then go out there and force feed it to the people.
Man, that's incredible. That's incredible. It's awesome to hear the story of you being in the business 3 years before you went to Harley's, and my question was, because it never even came up, but so you've spent 3 years in the business wrestling. So in your mind, you're a wrestler, correct?
Yes.
So then when you meet Harley and you go through his stuff, you realize, like you said before, you didn't know shit.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so you didn't have, did Harley, all of his knowledge and experience, did he just take you under his wing and teach you more, or did he charge you for that?
No, he didn't charge me at all. Actually, he actually he was misled, because I was misled. He was working with somebody else at the time, and they said, "Well, you've got wrestling experience. We need guys down at Harley's for his first camp. You can come down here for free." I said, "Okay." I left a $15 an hour job with the union, living with my mother in a 3-story house, living like a fat cat. Making $4.75 an hour, working landscaping, sharing a 2-bedroom house with 8 people sleeping on the living room floor.
Wow.
But when I went in and I was training for a couple of weeks, Harley calls me into the office and he goes, "Kid, I need to talk to you about a payment plan." And I'm a young guy, no money. I'm going, what? Harley, I got no money. What are you talking about, no money? I was told by Dave I could come down here for free. What? I was told I'd come here for free, Harley. Let me give Dave a call. He calls Dave. I have to leave the office. He calls me back in 15 minutes later. The whole time I'm out there going, this is my career. Oh, my God, it's all over before it even started. Oh, my God, I don't have money. And I sit down, and Harley's there with his wife, and he goes, okay, kid, I was told that you were told that this was free. I'm going to honor his word, so don't worry about the payment plan. He just and he honored another man's word for me,
right?
Which threw a ton of pressure on me again, because now not only am I at Harley Race's camp, I'm here for free. So,
right.
He's not making any money off me, so I got to pull my weight somehow. And I did. I busted my hind end. And 6 months later, Harley put me in the ring with Ming to go over for his WLW heavyweight title.
Okay. Well, see, that was another reason I asked that question. You had been doing it for 3 years, and then you go to that camp, and then I was, the thought in my mind was, okay, the average guy out here on the independents right now that's been wrestling 2 or 3 years, you ask them to go to some camp that's going to cost them money, they're going to have that attitude like what?
Well,
what is that attitude?
Here's the way I looked at it, Mo, was the guys that did train me was my brother and a couple other no-name guys. And I figured if I ever wanted to be successful in this business, I had to go to somebody who had already been successful in this business.
Right.
And who else, I knew I was never going to be the pretty guy. The good Lord didn't bless me with looks. He gave this fat man I'm an athlete in a fat man's body, don't get me wrong.
Gotcha.
I always knew that if I wasn't going to be anything, I wanted to be the toughest. I wanted to be the meanest. I wanted to be the guy that when you gave me your best shot, I got back up and looked at you and said, "Come on, sunshine! I thought we was gonna wrestle here."
Right.
I always wanted that intimidation, and
gotcha.
Who else to go to than 8-time NWA heavyweight champion Harley Race, the guy that had to do it the tough way, an hour every single night for year after year after year. And I figured at the very least, if I could make it through his camp, I would at least have a reputation of being tough and a no-nonsense, don't mess with me, put me in the ring when you need somebody beat up. That's the guy I wanted to be.
Incredible. Most guys 3 years in. I'm sorry.
Since you were so good at telling us what Harley said and how he said it, please enlighten me on something Vince told you, because I just found that hilarious.
Repeat that again?
You enlightened us on how Harley Race told you something. When you had a conversation with Vince, tell us what he said and how he said it, because I found it hilarious.
To be honest with you guys, I never sat down and had a meeting with Vince. The only interactions I've ever had with Vince was walking by, saying hi, hello, and Lance and I confronted Vince one time, and that was because our ideas weren't getting through, and the writers kept telling us that Vince doesn't like us. Well, I got pissed. I'm like, I'm working for this man, and he doesn't like me. We need to find out what it is right now. And Lance is holding me. He's like, dude, don't get us heat, man. Don't. I was like, no, we're not getting anywhere. We might as well go get some heat. We're at least on somebody's radar. And we went in, and Vince was in catering. He was by himself. The one time he was by himself, Lance and I sat down, and I looked right at him, and I said, I heard you don't like us. I want to know why and what it is. And he goes, Trevor, hey, I don't like your fake black hair on Lance and your pasty white skin, Trevor. And I said, okay. I was like, it wasn't that hard, was it? I was like, that's all we needed. And we walked away, and the next week, Lance was blonde and I was tan. I was like, it's amazing when you talk to somebody what you can accomplish. And that's my only real, I have one other time that I sat down with Vince, and that was when I was pitching my singing gimmick. And that was, I chased him down. You know, Mo, you know for sure Vince has always got somebody around him, so to get him by himself is extremely difficult. I knew they were splitting Lance and I up, and so I knew I needed to have another shtick. I couldn't just be the mean, ugly redneck anymore. And of course, when I have a couple beverages, I like to sing karaoke. So Lance jokingly said, "You should do something with singing." And I looked at him and I said, "Well, like what?" He goes, "I don't know. That's up to you to figure out." And I go, "Well, I don't know what the hell to do." He goes, "Well, you better pitch it soon because we're getting split up, you know." So I didn't want to get lost in the wash. So I start tracking down Vince, and I start stalking him like a, you know, fat chick with a good-looking guy. I'm just staring at him, and, you know, I'm walking, you know, behind him. And, of course, somebody else walks up to him. And I see him creeping his way to his office. And so he's finally by himself, and he's walking to his office, and a writer goes to walk in behind him, and I just nicely jam my arm in front of him and push him back and go in the door right behind Vince, and I lean up against the door so no one else can come in. And I say, "Vince, I know you're splitting Lance and I up. I like to sing when I get drunk, and I think I'm pretty damn good. You know, can we do something with it?" And he goes, "Well, sing me a song then." And I was, okay. And I was so nervous, I don't remember what song I sang, but I sang a song right there to Vince, and there's this like 20-second pause, and in my head I'm going, "Oh my God, I'm fired, man! What did I just? Holy shit! I've done it big this time." And he gives me the complete opposite. "Oh God damn, Trevor, that's fucking amazing! Why didn't you tell me that? We're gonna put it on TV next week." And I was so happy that I didn't know. I was so happy that he didn't fire me and call me an idiot that I left the room. I was like, "Yeah, oh yeah," and I didn't even ask him what I was going to be doing. I didn't even care. And next week, I'm standing on the announcer's table singing "Friends in Low Places" to my tag partner.
Wow. I find that so peculiar. And being that you went through that back then, it's got to be hell for the guys today to get access to Triple H or even Stephanie, especially Vince. I used to talk to Vince every week, and I'm talking conversations.
Well, it wasn't that case for me, and it wasn't because I was scared of him. There was just never an opening. There was, you know, you would think getting a job there. All right, well, I'm going to Connecticut. I'm going to sign a contract. I'm going to sit down with Vince. We're going to hash this out. I'm going to be good. It was literally, I was at a TV. All right, you want a job? You got it. I had a contract sent to my house. I was supposed to go to developmental. I ended up getting a call saying, "Hey, we're going to bring you up to TV, and you're going to tag with Lance. We're going to see what it looks like." I come up to TV. I do a couple darks with Lance, and I'm on the road that next week. And it was quick.
It was way different for us. We flew to Connecticut, spent damn near half the day with the man, and like I said, he was a lot more accessible back then. I mean, you needed anything, and you had a question about your character, was you going to get fired, whatever the case may be, you could stop Vince in the hallway, and he'd tell you in 2 seconds. Yeah, change the color of your hair. No. Yeah, you're going to get a doll. Yeah, you're going to get whatever the case is. So, yeah, the progression of how things went over the years, I just find the metamorphosis amazing as to how it went. All right, so the future, are you going to be at you got any independents lined up? Where can we see Trevor Murdoch?
Trevor Murdoch will be in, I will be in Kansas for OPW on the 29th of November. On December 2nd, I will be in Kansas City for Metro Pro Wrestling. And if anybody needs to get a hold of me, you can obviously go to Trevor Murdoch on Facebook or Redneck T Murdoch on Twitter.
Oh man, that's incredible. I have one further question.
Anything.
Are you planning on working in Union City, Tennessee anytime soon?
Anybody wants me to book me, I'm ready to come work. That's where I'm at. I'm ready to come work. I heard about your last trip there. Oh, well, yeah, I had to slap the shit out of a promoter, and only time I've ever had to be aggressive with a promoter. And you know what's messed up is me slapping him was the easiest thing that happened to that man that night. I won't go into details on what other individuals did, but that man had to walk out naked. You know, hell, I'm going into details. I just won't make names because he was a jerk. Didn't have the money for the boys. Ended up having to walk out to the locker room and apologize to the boys naked before he drank his own urine. So that's a little warning to all the promoters out there that want to screw the guys over. My best suggestion to you is to have your money before you start the show. If not, you're liable to have a cup of urine and get your ass kicked.
You know, it is really amazing that is still the way we settle business. That is good to know, promoters. That's the way it was done years ago. And here in 2014, that's the way we do our justice. So you better have our money. Trevor, it has been great. That story wraps that segment up. It's been great having you on. You've been one of our best guests, to date, because your perspective on things is bar none, and you are funny as hell. You got to come back soon.
Anytime, guys. I've really enjoyed myself, and if you guys ever need me, let me know, please.
Thanks, man. Thanks for coming.
The great Trevor Murdoch, y'all. He's been a gem. All right, we're going to go to a quick commercial, and we'll be back with Dreami Mimi and the WWE report. Well, did they just throw this together? And you got to know what's going on out here. So a lot of things come from Dreami Mimi right after these messages.
And now for today's top story. A Boyardee of War, mankind of the WWF, has invaded New York. Please be on the lookout. His intentions are unknown.
Have a nice day.
He never goes anywhere without his Chef Boyardee overstuffed beef ravioli, and his call is unmistakable.
Beefy!
The zesty, hearty goodness of Chef Boyardee definitely feeds the need.
It's the perfect ravioli for all mankind.
Oh, yeah! You young punks today got nothing on the Macho Man Randy Savage and my generation, yeah, and all the legends, yeah, because I'm telling you, that's complete mental insanity, yeah. Let the WWE All-Star Video Game begin, yeah, the best of the best. And to hell with the rest, yeah. Pick the Macho Man Randy Savage if you will, yeah. And I guarantee you will be victorious forever and a day, yeah, you will. Because I am the world's greatest wrestling superstar legend of all time, oh yeah. Catch me if you can, WWE All-Star Video Game, because you ain't seen nothing yet, because I am the Tower of Power, too sweet to be sour, funky like a monkey, space is the place, sky's the limit, yeah, that's the deal. Greatest matchups of all time haven't happened yet, no they haven't, until now. And it's up to the WWE Universe to take control of a volatile situation. And you guys decide who's the baddest generation of all time. Yeah, 2 generations, 1 ring. Yeah, hit up the WWEAllstars.com right now. You take control. Everybody say, oh, yeah.
I woke up and I had crappy feet. Now I do have happy feet. I woke up, my gout had me yelling and screaming, got on the phone and called Dr. Freeman. Called Dr. Freeman and I went there, straight to free men foot care. I got an exam, I got my meds, now I don't have to sleep standing on my head. I got my exam and they were enhanced, and now I can walk, run, and even dance. Got my care, 'cause I went there, my feet got fixed, the Freeman foot care. Once again, it's time to take a look back at what we saw on Monday Night Raw. Not Your Mama's Radio Show presents The Raw Report with Dreamy Mimi.
Will Rusev defeat Orton for Survivor Series? This is your WWE report for the week of November 2nd, 2014. At Monday Night Raw, fans of John Cena were asked if they wanted to receive a refund because Cena was a no-show. Now, if it were me, just because I couldn't see Cena, I would have, as most fans did, tried to enjoy the live show anyway. To open the show, the chairman, Vince McMahon, gave an ultimatum to his daughter, Stephanie, and son-in-law, Paul, a.k.a. Triple H. If Team Authority does not win, they will no longer run the show. Now, win or lose, do you believe that they will relinquish their power? Please. Team Authority, as so far, consists of Corporate Kane and Seth Rollins. It was believed that Orton would join the fray, but speculation has it he won't be in attendance due to his commitment to the film The Condemned 2. The sequel, which starred Stone Cold Steve Austin. Team Cena so far consists of only him and Dolph Ziggler, with a plethora of stars in the locker room who will each choose a side to compete in the upcoming event. In insider news, it was rumored that The Undertaker would be training at Developmental in Florida, but reports suggest that it is only a rumor. And speaking of training, Santino Marella is reported to be training for his in-ring comeback. Can you say Cobra? Rey Mysterio is supposedly poised for a WWE return, but rumor has it the fire that once illuminated the star has fizzled. So fans of Mysterio will have to wait and see. And finally, what we didn't see for the millions of fans who have yet to sign up for WWE Network for only $9.99, what you missed was the U.S. title change hands. With his patented accolade submission maneuver, Rusev forced the hands of Sheamus to become the new U.S. champion. Stars left and right will be gunning for the Bulgarian Brute for the coveted belt. This WWE report was brought to you by Whitaker & Company, certified public accountants.
Well, all right. Thank you, Dreamy. So the few minutes of Raw that you did catch before you lapsed into a medicated state of coma because you were sick, did the one together?
I honestly didn't catch much of anything on Raw this Monday night. As you stated, even when I was awake, I was still kind of out of it. But, I mean, going over the highlights of Raw, that's pretty much all they've been doing is throwing them together. I'm just waiting on them to, at somewhere in here, start getting some storylines going and some excitement, something, instead of the same old.
Okay, Felix, what is your take on what happened on Raw? And it wasn't really a slap in the face of the fans, Felix, or was it even fair that they did not have that Rusev Sheamus match on Raw, but just for the network people who by far the fans that don't have the network far outweigh the people that do?
You know, that idea had its merit and also could have been better if they would have had it on live television. However, this with their promotion of the WWE Network being free for the entire month of November, this is sort of a bait and kind of thing. You want to get baited into ordering it if you're a new subscriber. If you're not new, you don't get the benefit of getting it for free. But to new subscribers who are kind of hesitant, they were to go ahead and sign up for free, get the match, get Survivor Series later this month. So I think it was more of a kind of debate them into doing it. As far as Raw goes, you know, I like the idea of Randy Orton against the Authority, but I've heard a rumor, and it could possibly be true considering the fact that this person is no longer in competition anymore. I've heard rumors that Stephanie McMahon is expecting possibly her fourth child. So they're so this storyline was sort of written in there to possibly take them off of television for at least the time being because Stephanie is pregnant. That's the rumor I've heard. I don't know if it's true, but some people have said that she's noticeably wearing different types of clothes, and that could be a reason why the Brie Bella Stephanie McMahon rivalry ended so quickly. But that's where that stays. As far as Randy goes, I like the idea of him against the Authority because he's better. He came out better. He came out the bigger star in that one. I thought the match was good between he and Seth Rollins, and the fact that the Young Bucks trying to take the light away from the guy who's still not necessarily an old guy, but he is a veteran. He's been around. And he's one of the best they've got in Randy Orton. As far as Cena goes, you know what? The Cena crybabies complaining because they don't get to see their hero. I swear people are too damn sensitive on always wanting everything for nothing. None of us during the Attitude Era or even for the New Generation era or any era before then asking for a refund because, oh, my God, we couldn't see the Hulkster. Or, oh, my God, Men on a Mission didn't compete? What's up with that? I want my money back. Come on now. Really? Get over it, folks. Enjoy the show.
Hold up, man. Hold up. Men on a Mission don't get to compete. People ride, man. We flip cars.
I know. But you know what I mean, though.
Yeah, I know. I know. Yeah. Well, let me ask you this, Felix, because you're in California, right?
Yes, sir.
You're in Southern California?
Yes.
Okay. So then you're right in the neighborhood. What are your thoughts on that Lucha Underground?
You know, that's a good thing you brought that up because I was going to bring it up if there was time. I watched the debut. I haven't seen Wednesdays of this week's episode yet, but I did see the debut, and it's very Lucha Libre themed, but the story is completely unlike. This company is unlike anything I've ever really seen before. It's got a different look, a different feel to it, and you see some of the likes of, obviously, Big Zeke, who was on the show last month, and, of course, Chavo Guerrero Jr., a few other former WWE stars as well. But overall, I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it because I think it's different. It's not they're giving us something that WWE and TNA are not giving us at the moment.
Right. Wow. That Matt Stryker and is that Vampiro?
That is Vampiro, yes.
Doesn't even look like him, but Matt Stryker Vampiro makes a good announce team.
I enjoyed their commentary. It was you could hear two guys actually having a good time and not being force-fed words to say or over-saturating the damn show with. You could get the network for only $9.99, folks. As if people could ever forget. It's on it's on top of the WWE headquarters, a flag that says $9.99.
Yeah, you just get passionate about it. Damn. I mean, damn. But so switching gears to TNA, Bobby Roode is a champion again. Your thoughts on that?
As far as TNA goes, it's appearing that they could be ready to leave Spike TV very soon because they're looking to get a new TV deal. And my recommendation, and just me as a fan, is get put on a television network that is visible all over the United States. In some areas of the country, people don't have Spike TV.
Right.
They have to watch it. They have to watch it online if they can. So I wish them the best of luck. We need them out there because you know what? It's a different company. WWE is not the end all be all. There's a place for them to go to, and if they get back on top like they were before the Bischoff Hogan era, because they were red hot at that time, if they can get back to that point, I think they could stand a chance.
You think that the whole Hogan Bischoff going to TNA was their downfall?
Well, the thing is every time that they want to start showcasing the younger talent and start to feel like, oh my God, this is not working. Okay, let's call the Hulkster, call Bischoff, call Rob Van Dam, call the Hardy Boys, call people who were past WWE stars because of their name to help get them over. And when they seen that didn't work, and they started losing their own stars like AJ Styles, like God, I'm losing my train of thought. But they were going to lose Kurt Angle, but it looks like he's signed again. You know, the possibility is the fact that they're losing a lot of the guys who helped build that company.
Yeah. I think Angle signing again was the lack of interest from WWE.
I think they wanted to get him before WWE could actually entice him with a deal because Kurt is at the point in his life where he doesn't really have to wrestle anymore. He still does it because he loves it, and he said this would be his last round, and he would hope to retire with the company he started with. Alas, that didn't happen, which is boggling, because I would have think that it would have been a great money match to see Kurt Angle versus Rusev.
Right. I totally agree. I agree. Well, the landscape of the business is definitely changing.
Absolutely.
You know, you've got all kinds of people trying to create. You know, if you look around at some of the independent stuff that's going on, especially here in the South, in the Tennessee, North Carolina area, there are some companies here, and I know there's a couple up in the New Jersey, in the Northeast with Northeast Wrestling and MWF. There are some companies here that are really drawing some nice crowd, drawing better crowds than the TNA. You know, in their monthly regional shows, there are some companies here with a little bit of regional TV exposure can really do good, and if they get, you know, running on a regular basis, you know, instead of just once a month, maybe once a week somewhere different location, you know, Mike can develop a little regional system again.
Well, the thing too is that with the TNA guys, when Hogan Bischoff took over, they jumped the gun, I think, really too fast, because I'm not sure if you guys watched it back then, but in 2010, Impact Wrestling actually moved to Monday nights to compete with WWE. Right. They were not ready. The Carter family, they're wealthy, but you know what? They're no Ted Turner. They're no TBS. They're no TNT. None of that backing them.
Right.
If they had the pocketbook of a Ted Turner and given themselves some more time to actually work to get to that level, they could have stood a chance. But WWE left them out. They just left them in the dust.
Right. What would be good?
It's all about ratings.
What was that, Oscar?
What would be good for the business as a whole when you talk about the regional? If the territories came back, that would help everybody across the board, because through your wrestling history, that's when wrestling was at its best, especially for the fans. The fans had options. They had different places to go. They had different styles of the way companies ran things, different ways of running wrestling, and then it just worked for everybody across the board.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, some of the territories are coming back. I mean, obviously not as heavy as it was back then, but I find that most of the people, when they leave WWE, almost feel like they have a whole big weight lifted off their shoulders, and they're much happier. They're scheduling their own things, going and doing their own thing with different companies, and even doing the meet and greet sessions or whatever. Because I think when we had Joe Bruin on a few months back, or a couple months back, even he, I think he said too that they make some great money at these conventions. Sometimes even more so than they get paid for WWE. I don't know about that, but these little things that you get to do, it helps. People want to see you guys.
Well, I guess I think when you look at WWE and these conventions and stuff like that, you look at overall how much money they make. You know, for example, like a Kevin Nash might make $3-4 million a year overall. This is just a small example of what I'm saying.
Yeah.
But it might only equate to, on a nightly basis, like, you know, $1,500, $2,000, except for when pay-per-views. Then we're talking about $65,000 to $500,000. You know, this is where the bulk of the money comes in at, plus royalties. You know, the nightly money is not quite, you know, but, you know, on some of these conventions, you know, for example, I'll use this as an example, and this is rumor only. Will not confirm this, but like Bret Hart, for example, we're talking about sitting down at a table signing autographs for a few hours for you know, almost $10,000. You know, somewhere between $7,500 and $10,000. You know, so you figure if you do 10 or 12 of those a year, but you're home, you know what I'm saying? for the most part of the year. That in itself is the benefit of not being under that thumb. You know, you can do what you want. Okay, for example, I'll use Oscar and Mimi's business trip last week. You know, here you are, you're going on a business trip. You can take your wife. You know, you can go and enjoy a few days, and at the same time take care of business. When you're under that thumb, you know, and you're on the road 300 days a year, you're not going to be able to take your wife with you 300 days a year.
No.
You know, and so the beauty of that is you might make a third less the amount of money, but you got more freedom, more time with your family. You know, you're not having to take as many bumps. You know, and when you work in the independent circuit, man, the prime example, most of the time the promoters don't have great expectations from you. You know, their biggest thing is having you on the poster and having you draw, and then just you showing up, going out there. You know, I've gone to shows where a promoter might say, give me 12 minutes. You know, you're thinking, man, this is going to be the easiest 12 minutes I ever had. But the money for the 12 minutes, you know, is so much better. So, you know, it's better. It's almost better, man, in some cases to not be up under that WWE contract, under that thumb.
Yeah.
You know, so. I've seen Rob Conway make work, you know, tons of dates, you know, as the NWA World Champion. You know.
Oh yeah.
You know, he's the top guy, so, you know, but he's got a lot of freedom. You know, so I don't know. I think the territory system is, like Oscar said, it's kind of what we need. We need that back in place, and that might even help Vince's business. You know, if you had the systems like that.
That's
all
true.
right. Well, speaking of WWE, Mimi, you went to the headquarters. You went to the headquarters, right? Now, this is from a fan perspective. To you, was it everything, the aura of the building, was it everything that was cracked up to be? I mean, everybody wants to go there. What was your impression going there and spending a few minutes there that you spent?
My impression was that it was just a business office. Nothing more, nothing less. I mean, for the people that are dying to go there, I think they would be disappointed.
Oh, wow. Why so?
Because, if it's just, you're just going there, okay, to say that you've gone, okay, great. But, there was nothing there to, write home about. They had nice posters up that I could buy online, but that's it.
So it's not like you went up there and Randy Orton was walking down the hallway and John Cena peeked his head in, and
Not even close.
What about the Andre statue? Was that the Andre statue, or was that the statue of something else?
That was Bruno and Andre.
Bruno and Andre, okay.
Yeah.
Did you get to see the shop?
Because, I'm trying to... It's not open to the public like that. People who live up and down the East Coast go up to 95. They see the building all the time, but it's guarded and everything like that. So, you were one of the few people that, not at the contract there or, that got an inside look. So you found it disappointing. It wasn't like going to Disneyland, huh?
No. Not like one Disneyland.
I think that it would be more fabulous and more fascinating for somebody that got a 300-400 person action figure collection and got every encyclopedia.
Exactly.
That kind of person.
Yep.
That the missing piece of their puzzle would be to actually walk in that building.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So now it's time. A lot of people want to know. They saw you going there, and your week in Boston, New York. Tell us all that have no clue what's going on. What you can tell us about, what's on the horizon, what's going on. What are we doing?
Well, our trip was basically a bunch of meetings, and we got a lot of stuff going on that we can't talk about right now, but we do have a wrestling show coming up in December 21st in New Jersey. It'll be basically a fundraiser for anti-bullying program that will be starting a segment out in the East Coast. So that's a big thing and exciting, and we got a lot of legwork as far as the Equilibrium program. But again, there's nothing much to tell about that just yet.
Well, that's a shame. I would love to hear more about it. But also, you guys actually got to, meet with a former guest, Prince Nana. How'd that go? Are you able to talk about that or not really?
Yeah, that was pretty cool. We had lunch with him. He's a really cool guy. Tell him about our lunch.
All right. What we can say is we did have lunch and got to spend some time with him. The one question I forgot to ask him right then, because we talked about so much, is I forgot to ask him how the referrals went. That was a key question on one of the things I wanted to talk to him about. But what we did talk about was ROH's involvement in our program that we got coming up. We're going to have a gigantic meeting with the powers that be about it. He's setting that up. And we also talked about possible appearance on one of their programs. He gave us an option of dates that we could come in. I won't say the dates because we're gonna nail down exactly what date we're going to go. That's the relevant thing of it. But it was a positive thing. We're looking forward to working with Prince Nana and ROH and seeing what kind of traction that we can get, in that company.
There you go. That sounds great. Looking forward to it. And if you don't mind me asking, Mimi, I got to ask because I've seen the picture and I'm just curious of your impression. Meeting Triple H, were you a bit overwhelmed meeting him, starstruck? Was he cool? Was he funny? Was he a dick? I mean, what was it like meeting him?
Actually, he was really cool. Felix, I am the wrong person to ask about being starstruck. Oscar teases me all the time because he's like, I am never impressed by anything. So, no, I was not, starstruck, but it was really cool meeting him. He, like I said, he was really cool, down to earth, it was just...
Very nice guy.
Yeah.
In the meantime, though, I mean, with Halloween that just happened this past Friday, did you all get dressed up and go trick-or-treating up east? In the northeast, I should say.
Nah, we didn't go trick-or-treating. Halloween was actually a really, really, really busy day for us.
Oh, okay.
I mean, it was the whole week was just real busy. It was meeting after meeting after meeting, putting things in place. Wow. Everything was really, really positive. I mean, we accomplished some amazing things that I really am busting to tell you guys about, but we got to nail down a lot more fine points before we can really get into it. But as far as sponsorships go and partners and all kind of thing like that, people are salivating to be in business with us, and it's a beautiful thing.
That's good. I'm glad to hear that. Men on a Mission, the Men on a Mission tours coming back to you, and they got to stop coming up at WrestleCade, if I'm not mistaken. Is that still going to happen, or are you guys still? Are you not sure?
That is one thing that is still up in the air. We had a communications issue as far as being booked. Our promoter did everything she was supposed to do, but WrestleCade didn't get the information on time. WrestleCade is still scrambling to make it happen, so I'll know definitely by next Thursday.
That's cool. I hope you guys get to go there because it's a pretty stacked card, and definitely get a chance to visit with some old friends, some new friends, and who knows? Maybe maybe you can bring one of them on to a future show. Maybe work with them to go on another show with them, or what have you. I don't know exactly what you could talk about, but it'd be interesting to hear.
Well, I mean, it's going to be plenty of opportunity. I mean, if we don't make WrestleCade, like I said, 3 weeks later we run our own show in New Jersey. So I mean, so it's not, you know, one door closes, another one open, and as far as the shows go, your show included, you know, we still have that huge event in March, Pro Wrestling Marathon, where everybody's going to be at, and anybody who's still going to be at New England Fan Fest the end of June, and those are just 2015 dates, spring, summer of 2015. But our chief promoter, Fan for Life Wrestling, Renee Baghdad, she is working on a plethora of signings and events and other things that we can be a part of. So the cycle of talent that's going to be able to come on this network is going to be nonstop.
Absolutely. You know, I seen in the New England Fan Fest all the updates that Joe's been posting and who's going to be showing up and the kind of deals. I'm like, oh my God! And they're doing this next year. I already want to go, and I don't even live on the East Coast. I want to go. I'd love to check it out because it looks like a lot of fun.
Yeah, but I mean, they're actually looking at right now, and it's probably going to happen. They're looking at WrestleCon for WrestleMania, so you already got your WrestleMania package. So I'm almost positive we're going to get together. Oh, and then the other thing, too, Felix, you're going to meet with us in February. We're going to have some time to spend with you at the Beverly Hilton in Beverly Hills around the 20th of February. So
that's still going on? I remember you mentioned something about it, but I didn't know if it was still happening or did it get canceled.
No, we locked that down. My whole Equilibrium team is going. So we're all going to be in L.A. during that time. So, yeah, you need to come and check us out.
We'll do that. And, guys, it looks like we may have a caller in. I'm not sure. You know what? Let me check that call. Talk amongst yourselves here. I'll be back in just a moment.
All right. So, Mo, you're speaking on the 14th. What's happening with that?
Say that again?
You're speaking on November 14th. Tell us about it.
November the 14th. I'm speaking at a church in Nashville. You remember when back in '96 when we ran Southern Extreme Wrestling out of Cookville?
Yes, how could I forget?
That real talented dancing white kid, styling Shane Eaton.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, you know, styling Shane Eaton's a preacher now.
No, I did not know that.
Yeah, he's a preacher now, and he invited me to come speak at his church. So that's what I'm doing. So that's what I'm doing on the 14th. I'm speaking at his church.
Is this church in Cookville or someplace else?
It's in Nashville.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah, it's in Nashville. So I'm excited about that. They've really been asking me to do it for several months. I just my whole thing is there's something that I was called to do just before I got into wrestling, but I've always said, you know, I've always been afraid that I never felt like I had a testimony, you know. And
I bet you got one now.
Yeah, I do. And, you know, and honestly, that's what inspired me to go forth and do it. You know, all the talks, all the conversations we've had here on the radio, and so I think I got something to share.
I do too.
I think I got something to share. I mean, we're talking about.
I think you got a lot to share.
Well, yeah, I think we're talking about a 23-year wrestling career with two 2 suicide attempts, 3 deaths on the surgical table from health-related issues, not to mention surviving 4 nightclub shootings. I think I got a little something to tell. You know, my whole career and brotherhood with Nelson and Oscar. You know, there was something I had a revelation about. I wanted to share this with you real quick. There's something that Sal and Shane gave me a revelation about that I have been heartbroken about since Nelson's passing. A lot of people don't know this, but the morning I showed up at his house and we were working on funeral arrangements, my first question to his wife was, "What church did you guys belong to?" You know, and you know the answer that I got just blew my mind. My heart dropped, and so I've been sick, man. I've not told anybody this, but I'll admit to it now. I've been kind of sick and heartbroken ever since then about this situation until I was talking to Alan Shane last week on the phone, and he said to me, we was having that conversation. He said, "Have you ever had a conversation with Nelson about God?" I was like, "Yeah." You know, he always talked about religion. You know, he talked about getting baptized when he was young, this, that, and the other. He said, "Well, there you go, Bobby." He said, "Let me tell you something, and I'll tell this to the whole world." He said, "When you find God as a child, you know, even though you go through life and, you know, you may have a difference of opinion or you stop believing or whatever. He said, just because you stop believing in God doesn't mean that he stopped believing in you." He said, in the book of Hebrews, the Bible says, "I will never leave you or forsake you." He said the fact that he found God as a child, you know, he's okay.
Yeah.
You know, and that kind of gave me some peace, man, because I'm telling you, I have been really torn up about the whole situation since it happened. And she told me that he had given up on his faith. You know, and I know, man, that WWE thing will make you do that, bro.
You know, it's good that you're doing that because that is really part of what One Equilibrium program is about, is exactly what you're doing. You know, telling your story, you know, to our audience of people so that they can appreciate it. And you know what that's going to do? That's going to help you that night as much as it is going to help them. So, yeah, I can't wait to see how that comes out.
Your thoughts, Mimi?
I was going to say, the thing is, you know, it's not about, unfortunately, a lot of religious churches make it about religion, and it's not about religion, it's about relationship. So, yeah, when you accept Christ as a child, you know, it's a lot of people that don't go to church every Sunday. But that doesn't mean that they don't talk to God and that they don't know God.
Right.
So it's about that person's relationship as far as, did they know Christ? Did they believe in Christ? You know, because in their darkest hour and in that time of need, you know, that's who they're calling on. That's who they're talking to. Just because they don't go to church every Sunday doesn't mean anything. It's devils sitting in church week after week.
Right.
So,
well, you know, I made a joke. I was sitting here studying, and I made a joke because I've been studying a lot of Joel Osteen, and you know he always liked to tell a joke before he you know starts the services. And I was sitting here and I was thinking, you know, the funny thing about it, I said, you know, if Christianity's beliefs were like those of the Nation of Islam, you know, I would already be gone to hell. He said, I say that because in the Nation of Islam, they teach you not to do pork and not to like white women. So I would be burning in hell right now. I love me some sausage. Because you love me some white women. Yes, sir. So, yeah, thank God.
Take a look at your kids and set their passport down below.
Yeah, they said, hi, Uncle Oscar.
Hi, nephews and nieces. I'd be going to hell, too, because they're my nephews and nieces. I'd be like, man, I had nothing to do with it. My kid's black as hell.
Yeah, but I thought that was funny. You know, I was just sitting there thinking about that scene with Malcolm X with Denzel and Spike Lee when he was asking Denzel if that whole religious thing was just some con. And he's like, nah, man, I can't be a part of that now. I love pig-feeding white women too good. Well, it sounds like, you know, we got a lot going on. I'm keeping my calendar open. Who actually is the promoter or the booker for the?
They ain't telling you none of your business. I got this.
Oh, my bad.
I need you to answer that question. You're talking to her. To be honest.
My bad. Okay. I was just gonna try to see if I can get a couple of my boys on, so I have some transportation.
You're talking to her.
She gonna call the Maxes and the Phoenixes too?
No, she ain't gonna do it after all. But as far as
I got that part.
As far as being a booker and being in charge and putting this show together, all she had to do was find the money, and the money's been found, and everything's being done, and she's in charge. So I just run this organization. I don't call the shots.
Well, where my chair at? That's all I want to know. Am I sitting in the dunce chair? Am I sitting in the dunce chair?
No, not the dunce chair.
Oh yeah, I don't run the day-to-day operations. I'm just in charge, but I don't make any decisions.
Yeah, you like
man. Hey, wait a minute, I'm going to tell you something. That is my key to long life. To less stress and to being happy and to just, just living life. I figured it out. Run the organization, make things happen. Once you make it happen, turn it over to somebody else that's not going to talk too much, that's going to make sound decisions and balance the checkbook correctly. God has been good to me.
Well, I'm so glad that you got that philosophy.
Yeah, me too.
I'll be pulling my hair right now.
We're good. What's going on with Pipe Bomb Radio?
Yeah.
Well, as far as us, we have had a pretty decent show up to date so far. We just had an interview with Wildcat owner and wrestler Luke Hawks on the show Tuesday night. Great guy. He's promoting his show they have coming this Saturday, the Revolution Rumble. That's going to have Bob Holly and Booker T in it. And it's like their biggest show of the year. So it's like their own little WrestleMania, if you will. But we are planning somebody to come on this Tuesday. We haven't revealed the name yet because we don't have confirmation just yet. But as far as November goes, we've got some big name guests coming on starting next week, and hopefully next week, and also on the 18th.
Well, we are working on it round the clock, so we will let you know as soon as we hear something. So we are putting in 2 phone calls a day, and we'll know something soon.
That's right. But I wanted to ask, actually, Oscar and Mimi, have you guys got the chance to check out the Lucha Underground at all?
No, I have not. I don't have cable.
Okay. And as far as managers go, do you think that's a they should bring more managers back? They've obviously had Paul Heyman and Zeb, and apparently they have valets. But has the art of managing really truly died, or could it be brought back?
It needs to be brought back because you got a lot of these guys that really can't talk for themselves. That's the wrestling in its heyday. That was more than half of the show. You had guys that could work their ass off, but they could not verbally tell a story, or they couldn't verbally make the threats or say what it is they were going to do. That's why Jim Cornette needs to be in a Hall of Fame material. That's why Paul Bearer is in the Hall of Fame. That's why Paul Heyman is who he is. That's why you had Brother Love and Grand Wizard and Classy Freddie Blassie and the list just goes on and on. That's why those guys are legendary, and they need to vet and get people who are just as or even more so talented in this digital age to go and bring the show home. So, the role of the male manager is definitely missed and needed.
I totally agree with that because it's just funny to even see the rivalry between the different managers and and each other going back and forth promoting their client being the best and talking stuff to the other managers. I can't stand Paul Heyman, but he's entertaining. So if there were more of them, I think it would be great. Because like Oscar was just saying, a lot of the wrestlers, they can't talk. And then when they do get up and they say something, the few that do, it's just a bunch of garbage. So it's just, I don't know. I think the managers add a little bit of flavor to it.
And what do you guys think about SmackDown actually moving to Thursday nights now?
Dissect them for 1 quick minute, talent by talent. The best thing you hear Sheamus say is fella. Other than that, if he had an Irish mouthpiece, he would be a lot more over than even what he is now. Great talent.
Okay, you got to get off my gato.
Great talent in the ring, great everything.
Don't ignore me.
The Shield cut great promos. Bray Wyatt don't need no manager. He's but other than John Cena does a great job. But I wasn't even impressed with Randy Orton talking the ring. He can even use a mouthpiece, in my opinion.
Yeah, he definitely could.
So you got a lot of people who can work in the ring, but that's what the managers were for. And like I said, if you put managers with a lot of these guys, they'll be twice as over as what they are now, if they're over now. Lana talking for Rusev, that's a hot mess. I mean, I'm sorry. She just doesn't come across. He barely act like he can speak English. I don't know what he's like in real life or anything like that. But they can use somebody who can really, bring it home for them. I think
I'm gonna get into management.
Pardon?
I think I'm gonna get into management.
Maybe you should.
I think I'm gonna be a manager.
Maybe that 20-minute decree that you read with maybe one King of the Ring is legendary.
Hey, Mo, I got a question for you.
I was out of it then, but I watched it. He started reading the decree at 9:30, and at 11 p.m. he was done. But it was okay.
And have some literacy issues,
Hey, Mo, I got a quick question for you.
Now,
if in the 2015, maybe 16 Rumble, we'll just say, you get a call from Triple H, wanted you to make a quick appearance in the Rumble, just one quick shot. You come back. Would you bring Oscar with you and just kind of do the old rap to the ring and then do your thing and just take part in the Royal Rumble match? Because I know a lot of guys have come back just for that. Would you ever turn that down, just for the one night deal?
Not if Oscar couldn't go. It's like
that's what I mean. You probably haven't come with you.
I can't. Me and Fat Boy don't get along very well. But it's like I tell everybody that call me. I'm always getting asked to do stuff, and my first question is, can you bring Oscar? To me, I don't care how anybody slices. I don't care what anybody says. There is no one part of Men on a Mission. Any part of that's missing, it's just not Men on a Mission.
Right.
It's just Men on a Mission are 3 people. Now Men on a Mission are 2 people, And then with the Not Your Mama's radio program, we got Dreamy Mimi. And that's what people know. That's what people are going to know. And, an opportunity like that, we'd all have to be a part of it.
Once again, you have to give credit to Chad Engel for the great artwork he did, drawing the caricatures of Mo and Oscar and Mimi.
Oh, my God.
Very, very cool. That was freaking phenomenal.
Yes. Chad Engel Art. Facebook him.
Chad
I definitely did.
Yes.
I mean, I would love to do some stuff, but like I said, the last thing I'm going to do is go do something, especially of that magnitude, and not include my brother. Yeah. I ain't never been that way, so other people, on the other hand, might. I'm not that way.
Okay.
And I would take less money to make it happen that way too. So, if it was a situation they said, well, we can't afford it, yeah, take the money that you were going to pay me. You button buff your own.
Okay.
Take the money that you're going to pay me and use it and bring Oscar. At least if nothing else, at least we get to spend some time together back on the road and get to hang out and laugh and eat some chicken and some shrimp cocktail, truly dying together.
Yeah, that's right.
So, yeah, I mean, I would relish the opportunity to do something like that. Just a single thing. Not nothing long term.
Yeah.
But it's got
they usually bring back the old timers, not calling you old, but the past performers
they
like Roddy Piper, Jimmy Snuka. I agree with you, but I'm not going to say it to their face, so I'll let you do it, and I'll stand behind you. No, I'm just kidding. I've seen a lot of guys come back, even if it was just for the one-time deal, and I think just for old time's sake, it would be nice to have Rap and Oscar and Mo dancing to the ring, not together, but separately, of course, and just entertaining the crowd for one good time with a good rap to the ring, and Mimi watching ringside or even backstage. And just cheering on her boys.
Well, that's what they asked us. That's what they specifically asked for this Christmas show we finna do in Jersey. Isn't that right, Dreamy?
Yeah. But I understand what Felix is saying. He's basically talking about something on a larger scale, televised type thing.
Well, yeah. I mean, like the Royal Rumble, just to make an appearance that one night. Or even if it was like if they were to do it again, as they did at WrestleMania 17, I believe it was, the gimmick Battle Royal. And that way Oscar can actually get in the ring, too. Hell, I mean, they had Jim Cornette and Brother Love in there beating each other up, or at least trying to.
Mm-hmm.
I think that would be cool. Really, I would.
I would love that.
That'd be a lot of fun to watch.
I would love to redo
just like it was at WrestleMania 17, seeing the 62-year-old Iron Sheik. Gotta love Sheiky, baby, but he won it, and it was just fun to watch.
Mhm.
We got to get the Sheik on the show one day.
Oh yeah.
He is a character, and we have to say parental discretion is advised, of course.
Right.
Right.
He needs his mouth out with all kind of detergent.
Don't bring up Hulk Hogan or Ric Flair.
That's right.
Oh, I'll be the first one. So tell us about your time with Hogan. I love it. Okay. Go ahead, man, just to get him started.
Now, as far as back to Monday Night Raw, what's going on with Ryback?
They're lacking people that are good guys, so they needed a good guy, so they try to get him. They're going to try to build him back up again as the feed me more monster.
Yeah.
I think at this point they want him to be at the same level as Cena, so to say, like John Cena is the Hulk Hogan of this era. They could say maybe Ryback was the Ultimate Warrior of this era. God rest his soul. But yeah.
Wow.
Really?
Oh, I just thought about it. Before we go, Mimi, you got to tell Mo about his new #1 fan.
Oh.
What?
His new #1 fan from Under the Mat Radio.
Oh, yeah, on Facebook. I read a post where a guy commented and said that Not Your Mama's Radio Show will be boring without Mo.
Wow.
He's still there.
Well, that's cool.
His name is Shimbly.
Very cool.
Okay.
I sure didn't know he had any more fans left. I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
I mean, I think the guy want to come to his house and do his laundry.
No, thank you. No, thanks.
yeah, Shimbly looked like a black Groucho Marx. He got the thickest eyebrows you ever seen on a human being.
Wow. Black, huh?
Yeah, he's a big gigantic. He said, "Not Your Mama's Radio Show be boring if it wasn't for Mo." I was like, well, that is the reason why we let Mo talk for 1 hour and 43 minutes of the 2 hours program that we have here. I mean, you know what he did. It's all working out.
Get off my brother. He did an excellent interview tonight.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, he did.
I give him credit,
You know what? I take constructive criticism all day, every day.
Oh, well, I'm not even criticizing or hating. I think you do a fantastic job. I'm glad to know you. I'm marked out, and I can't wait to see you so I can get my Mo action figure signed because you're the business.
There you go, collector's item.
There you go. I know. You think I'm playing? I'm going to sell it on eBay for $9.99.
$9.99.
$999. Boy, keep up. You famous.
Oh, okay. My bad. I thought you were trying to get me to get the network.
Oh, well,
it's on for free right now. Your best bet is to get it now.
I mean, and then too, speaking of positivity, we're going to put a young lady over we met the other day. Tell us about At Last, Dreamy. Does she not have some? Is she the future of female rap? I mean, if she's promoted right.
If she isn't, she needs to be. Her content, lyrical content, is what is really, really unique about her and interesting, and she really cares about what she's rapping about. And then it's like, sometimes when people have, I hate to say this, but it's the truth. Sometimes when people have a positive message, they just come out and they don't sound great. It's corny or it's just not the best, they're not the best at what they do. But I can't say that about her. She has an excellent message. She's really good as far as entertaining and performing and hearing her. I thought she did an awesome job, and I'm waiting to hear back from her about working with us at this wrestling show in December.
Yeah, and again, she was a guest at Evan Ginsberg's Legend TV at his studio in Deer Park, Long Island. How fun was that? The funniest thing was the cameraman producer who owned the facility. He was telling us about how he had 13 people living in his house, and on a Social Security check that he got a month, he was like, I can't wait. I mean, just out the blue, just tell this business, I can't wait to get my kids and their kids out my damn house. I mean, it was just a good time. And Evan was really, he had a setup like you felt like you was on like the Jimmy Kimmel Live or one of the talk shows, Conan O'Brien, where he had this group and he sat at his desk, and I was the co-host, like Ed McMahon and Andy Richter sitting there on the couch, he co-hosting, and he's sitting at his desk with his tie on, with his cue cards, and they did a real professional. It was a really professional talk show type setting, and it was really done really well. So big up to Evan Ginsberg, who was the associate producer of the wrestling, by the way, with Mickey Rourke. That's another accolade to his credit. But yeah, Dreamy had a really good interview. You couldn't tell she was nervous, but she should have talked more.
Yeah, she could. I messed up.
Yeah. The wrestling thing. That's funny that how she messed up. They asked her what was some of the most memorable guests.
I saw Bruce Owen.
Yeah, she said, well, we had Owen Hart on. And everybody looked like, Owen? I mean, would you have a seance? You resurrected him from the dead? And I've been correct. I was like, that's Bruce Hart, honey. Owen died in Kansas City back in the 90s. He's dead now. But if Owen came on and you saw him, please tell us about it. I see dead people. Oh, all came on.
I was so nervous.
Well, that was an honest mistake, but then you had Bruce on, honey. I mean, that's, okay.
Yeah. But yeah,
I gotta ask you guys though, with the new DVD of the Macho Man Randy Savage coming out later this month, will you guys be checking it out, buying it? It's supposed to be a nice, probably 2-hour long, maybe at the most, documentary talking about the in-depth life of Randy when he was married to Liz, to his last wife, to speaking with Lanny and their mother Judy, and a lot of great people like DDP, Bret Hart, Jerry Lawler, Hogan, Flair, people all who knew Randy.
Oh, right. Yeah, no, positively, because it was Randy Savage that set this whole thing in motion. I went and did that rap for Randy Savage a couple of weeks before WrestleMania 9, and he's the one that put the bug in Vince's ear to give Men on a Mission the shot that it got, and we didn't have any mentors up there for Randy Savage. If we had anybody that we could say played that role with us, it was definitely Macho Man Randy Savage. And speaking of DVDs, next month in December, the Giants DVD comes out, and there's a match with Mabel on there, Mabel as Big Daddy V on there. I forget which match it is, but he's part of that Giants DVD that's coming out. And I think
I wonder if it was against Yokozuna.
I think he had some commentary in that match too, because he went to a TV taping, Monday Night Raw appearance to do an interview for it. So I think he's got some commentary. But the Giants DVD that he's a part of does come out next month. I can't wait to see that.
Absolutely, good times.
Well, I'm gonna get it on bootleg. I'm gonna get it on bootleg.
Oh yeah, I mean go see the Fat Man. Do you have a copy?
Yep. I'll get a bootleg copy of it.
Yeah,
the sound and lighting might not be clear,
Yeah, I know. I mean, we can truly dine as we look at that.
Hey, look, man. I have been sitting in my bedroom for the last 3 weeks watching The Purge 2. And every time I sit there and I watch it, right, I hear this phone ring. And I'm thinking, I don't have a phone. Then I hear somebody say, hello? It's the dude in the theater videotaping it on the cell phone. How you going to bootleg a movie and be on the cell phone? Man, he is destroying the movie.
So, we got 2 minutes left. Why are you watching The Purge 2 over and over again?
Oh, you didn't know? I ain't got cable.
Yeah, I got that. But why are you watching that particular movie over and over and over again? That's kind of scary.
That's all he gets.
Oh, okay. I guess that's it.
Thanks, Dreamy, because I didn't want to tell nobody, but
No, I know. I'm hoping that's it. You talk about I've been watching like some psychopath. I've been watching The Purge 2 over, like that's something you thinking about going out there to do.
Well, my bootleg guy ain't been around in a while. I think he got busted last month.
Oh, well, you need to tell him to bring you the Ninja Turtles or something a little more docile because
I got that one too. I got that one
too, man, over and over again for the last 3 weeks. You know what the Purge 2 is about? It's about a night where you can go out and kill people legally. So who the hell wanna? You know what? I'll seriously, we need to talk.
Hey man, it's a good movie, man.
I know.
He went to see it.
Yeah, I know I was there, but I was watching it every night for the past 3 weeks.
Hey man, it's a choice between The Purge 2 or my bootleg DVD, The Housewives of Atlanta, Georgia.
Yeah, all right. Maybe you want to watch. Well, you also have something you can watch over and over again, and that's the interview of the Nelson Frazier interview.
No. I want to remember the good times. I want to remember the good times, man.
The fastest 2 hours of radio has come to a close again, ladies and gentlemen. Thanks for tuning in. We want to thank our featured guest, Trevor Murdoch. Excellent interview. Sir Mo, our producer, Philip Almedo. Dreamy Mimi, as always, we're going to see y'all back next Thursday. Good night.
First two. That's the movie. Bye,
Good night,
Dreamy.
guys.
Hey, Dreamy. Call me. Call me, girl.
That's right. We're on a mission.